Hello everyone, welcome to another session with me. This is Sanyukta Saxena and we are exploring this Tangle Wyfore, the new Tangle Wyfore, and this is the tile that we drew in our last session. Today we will be exploring it a little more. We will take our journey further. So today let's draw Y4 in a random fashion. Yeah. So I'm not looking at any arrangement today. I'm just going to draw it in any about direction. You can call it a crazy version, just as we do for the other similar tangles like Huggins or Cadent, right? So let's see how does it work out. So I'm going to, this is a regular square tile and I'm using my O1 black and I'm just going to start right away just from about any place. So again, starting in the same fashion like this, right? So today, instead of tangling around our Y4, we are going to deck up our Y4 itself. Yeah. So I'm not going to tangle much around, probably ink it black or just add some tipples or something like that. And then concentrate on tangling inside my Y4. Yeah. So again, doing the same exercise of drawing probably in a random fashion. So let's see how does it turn out. So starting just about anywhere, not thinking where, what. So wherever I see spaces, places where I can fit in one, I'm just inserting one. Yeah. So take your time. You don't have to draw in exactly the same fashion. You can draw the way you wish to. Just keep it random. Don't plan out. Like this. Yeah. Again, complete the tangle, join the lines. Probably one hidden one here. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Hidden there. And then again, I'm going to start here. Join the lines. So if you want, you can fill up the entire tile like this, or you can keep it to one side and then choose any other tangle to fill up the rest of the space. Yeah. So let's do that. Let's use one more tangle probably apart from our crazy Y4s. Right. So I'm done with that. Now what I'm going to do is probably insert a tangle called sena, yeah, in the rest of the spaces. So you can always draw some hidden ones there like this. Yeah. Wherever you can find those spaces, just insert one or two. Like this, and probably one last one here. Just piled up randomly one over the other. Yeah, so that's randomly arranged. Now what I'm going to do is probably start with sena, right? So I'm just going to add an S shape just for the sake of reference. So just pick up your pencil and you can either start with an S shape or a C shape, right? A light-handed S there. And then I'm just going to add a nice dot and start drawing my sena. Adding a little weight as I end the line. Right? So entirely up to you. How do you want to? Again, this is another tangle which you cannot practically replicate. So you have to draw it in your own way. So you cannot be drawing so many lines in exactly the same fashion, right? So just go with the process, how I'm drawing it. It's just about auras, nothing else. Give nice curve to the lines. You can also insert different patterns in between. I'm going to keep it simple because my focus angle here is Y4. So I'm going to keep my sena simple, and it looks the best this way, believe me. Yeah. So those of you who are new to my channel, haven't seen my previous videos, I have done entire series, special series on sena. So this is a very beautiful tangle to learn, to explore. So you can always refer to my series if you are new to the tangle. Yeah. So now I'm just going to fill up this section with nice curved lines with some weight at the end. You can also start with a border if you wish to. That's entirely up to you. If you are a beginner, you are new to Zentangle, I would advise you to start with the border. It will help you get rid of the fear of tangling on a white piece of paper which is blank. Yeah. So that's one part of the sena. Now I'm going to continue like this. Right. So take your time and do that exercise. I'm going to draw a couple of lines like this, giving a slight curve to the lines again. Yeah. So I've reached the end of the S, and now again I'm going to change directions. Small little space left here, you can always continue in the same fashion. So take your time, be patient, lot of line work involved here. So give that attention, stay focused, don't haste up. Sena is a true meditation. Yeah. So now again I'm going to change my direction, draw lines in this fashion. A little pen pressure as you start the line would be nice. It will automatically give that shape to your S. And leave your hand loose towards the end. Yeah, so take your time. So I am left with one small portion here, so I am going to continue in the same fashion. So you don't have to really think where to draw the lines. The lines will automatically guide you where what, right? So I'm just going with the flow, not thinking much where what, going with the spaces I have. Now giving a slight curl to the lines, filling up some of the space which is empty here where I have not inserted anything, like this. Yeah. So now you can also continue adding that in this section, but probably we will see what do we want to add in the in-between sections. First, I'm going to deck up my Wyfore a little. I'm going to pick up my brown O1 now and just add some nice mukas inside. Well, you can choose any tangle of your choice, feel free. So I'm using a combination of muka, flux, tipple, adds as a nice filler. You can completely fill it up, you can partially fill it up, whichever way you feel like. You want to add some other tangle, please go ahead. Right? So some tipples there, some flux there. And this portion, this is a continuation of this part, the front part. So I'm going to add some mukas there also. Like this. Yeah, so let's do that for about all. Probably I'll leave one or two empty. Again, starting with a nice muka, nice flowy ones. You can draw sprouts, you can draw it any which ways you want. Some flux there, some tipple there. Again, start from the other side. Some sprouts, some flux. Yeah, so again, this fold is a continuation. So you can add mukas there also, like this. Yeah, so I'll add in the same fashion for all. Right, small little spaces. You can just add orbs or something like that. So I'm done with that exercise. I have left a few blank and added muka to a few of them, right? So there will be a combination of both. Now there are in between spaces that you have. Up to you, what do you want to do with those spaces? You can add tipples, you can add any tangle of your choice. You can either aura them the way it is. You can add moons, you can add tipple, you can add stir it up. Just choose a tangle that comes to you easily, right? So probably I'm going to go with some stir it up. Yeah, so let's first, I think it would be a good idea to aura the spaces first before you add a filler, right? So I'm going to, since we have not added double lines to our Y4, probably I'm going to separate the sections where we are going to add the filler. Something like this, right? So just take your time, go with whatever spaces you have. Add that small aura there. Like this. Yeah, so I don't think there is any more space left. So let us just add some tipple or fescues. I'll go with tipple, I think. I'm going to add some tipple there. So you can keep it equal size, you can vary the size. They need not be perfect orbs, perfect circles. That's why they are called orbs basically. So you can just fill up these spaces like this. Yeah. So take your time. Go to each of these spaces and fill them up with the tangle tipple. It's an excellent filler. right? So wherever you have spaces, just take your time, slowly and patiently fill up the spaces. Yeah. So I'm done with that exercise also. Now time to get to shading. Yeah. So let's shade. I'm first shading the blank ones. Take your time. Slowly go to each. You can also highlight the intersections where the lines seem to be going under, over, right? Again, let's first shade the blank ones and then we'll come back to our Tangle Wyfores. This much is enough, I think. You don't need to add at these places, but if you wish, you can. So I think there's one more here. That's about it. Yeah. These are the only blank ones. You can highlight this part also where the line seems to be going under. Yeah. And the last one here. Right. Now moving on to our muka. The decked up ones, again the same. Don't add too much. Just a touch. Yeah. Don't blend too much. You want the mukas also to be visible. Yeah. So muka is a very versatile tangle. An excellent filler, standalone. There are various versions of the tangle. We have used so many while we tangle. Some are easier, some are a bit complicated to draw. But almost everybody can draw it because of the variations that we have for drawing the same tangle. Yeah. Many start like fescue. Yeah. So muka always need not be drawn in this fashion, the way I have drawn. You can also start with fescue and then deviate from there. So basically it has different versions and some or the other version you can always draw. So I think one or two more left here. I'll just shade them. So I'm done shading my Y4. If you want, you can just give a slight touch on the tipples also. Whatever is there on your tortillon already, I think that's sufficient to give that slight touch. You don't need to add more. So finally, let's move on to our sena. Highlighting the dip. So again, this place can be highlighted. I'm just adding some graphite on the S at the intersections, right? So it's up to you, how do you want to shade your sena. No hard and fast rules again there. Just go with the flow. So done with our shading. Time for the chalk for some highlights. Again, if you feel like, you can always add some highlights here and there. You can also highlight the center part of your Wyfore. Right? Since it is brown here, so you can always highlight it and it will show. Yeah? So use a different blender and just soften the chalk. And I don't think we need anything else. Last but not least, if you want, you can add some black pearls on your sena. A nice embellishment to your line work. But again, it's optional. Embellishments are a matter of personal choice. If you feel like, you can do it. If you don't feel like, that's fine. Yeah. If the dots are not, the highlights are not nicely visible, use your jelly roll to redo it. If you have your brush pen handy, then you can always add a shadow underneath. It's again, even if you don't, that's okay. Generally, when we draw black pearls, we add a shadow underneath. Yeah, that's about it. Let's close our tile here. I'm going to put in my chop, sign and date it. So this is another way to draw your Wyfore. Just randomly arrange it in a crazy fashion. So one last thing that you can do before you close your tile here is use your gray watercolor pencil, yeah, and add a thick line here where the sena is going inside. Yeah, I'm just using it liberally, adding lot of pencil there. Like this. Yeah. Now you can use your watercolor brush and just smudge it a little. Yeah. So just wet the brush and take the watercolor away a little. Not much. We want to keep it dark. Just blur it a little. Like this. This step is again optional. I want to give it an impression of the sena going under and my Wyfores coming over. So to show that transition, I am going to add this dark watercolor there, but you can always do away with that also, right? So it's entirely your choice. If you want to redo certain lines, you can always do that. Please revisit some of the lines if you wish to, yeah, with your black pen. So you can always go back and re-emphasize some of the lines after you have done your shading. It's always a good idea. Yeah. Go with the flow. Wherever you feel there is a need to re-emphasize the lines, you can do that after you have shaded. Yeah. So I think we are done. We can now close our tile. Yeah. So I'll see you again with another session of Wyfore. Till then, have a good time. Bye-bye.